Alexandra Harbushka, founder of Life with Herpes. We're going to talk a little bit about what it's like to get diagnosed with herpes later on. So whether you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, or later. Okay, let's talk a little bit about that. But before I do that, I want to ask you if you like my dress, because my husband doesn't like this dress and I really like this dress. And I'm really excited because it has pockets. I'm really getting off topic here on herpes, but it has pockets and I think it's pretty in the back and it's fun. So he tells me never to wear it with him. I want to know what you think. Okay, let's get to herpes though, because that's why you're here. You do not care about my dress, but I do. Anyways, it is awful regardless of when you get diagnosed with herpes, whether you're in your 20s, whether in your 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever, right? And we have all these preconceived notions of who gets it, when they get it, why they get it. So before we had herpes, we think like, oh, I know the type of person that's gonna get it because he or she is doing this or is living in this type of lifestyle or whatever. And we never think that this person over here is gonna get it because they're doing this type of thing. I was receiving some comments from people saying, gosh, I think that it would be so much easier to get herpes when you're younger versus when you're older. I would say the grass is always greener on the other side. I don't think it's easier at 20 than it is at 40. I don't think it's easier at 30 than it would be at 60. I think that it's always difficult. There's different situations, and that's what we're gonna talk about here. So when you are younger, for example, and let me back up in my mind. So the reason why someone was saying, gosh, I think it's so much easier when you're younger opposed to when you're older. Well, as we age, we have to think like we're maybe new in this dating world. So a lot of times I will have, I don't want to say hundreds, but a lot of people will come to me at a second point in their lives, whether they've just gotten divorced or their spouse has passed. It's been many years, if not decades, since they last dated. So back then, maybe when they were dating, maybe herpes wasn't even on the radar. Maybe their biggest concern was pregnancy. I mean, this could have been 50 years ago, right? We don't really know. So this whole idea of like sex ed and sexual education is not something that maybe was in their life or really in their world. Where now we are doing a little bit better job about talking about STDs, talking about STIs. So at least our youth is aware of it. I still don't think we're doing an awesome job because still STDs are stigmatized and things like that. But again, we have to remember the person in their 50s, 60s, 70s, they may have never even dealt with it. They may have been a virgin when they got married. And then all of a sudden they're out in the dating world. So there's a lot of people that will go through divorces that come to me and they're like, how did I get this now? It's embarrassing. I thought you just got this when you're 20 because you're young and promiscuous. So herpes is out there. It doesn't really care if you're 20, 50, 14, 45, it's out there. The difference is that we're actually a little bit more, the older we get, the more people are exposed to the virus. So we have a greater chance of finding somebody with the virus, opposed to when we're younger, we haven't necessarily been as exposed to as many people at that point. But regardless, it's still devastating to get it at 20 versus 60. The difference is we age, I think we just do a little bit better job of being able to digest things. I think that the disclosures might be a little bit, I don't want to say easier, but the person that you're disclosing to has lived life, has had ups and downs, has had hardships. Meanwhile, disclosing when you're like 19, the person's gonna be like, well, I can just go to this one because there's always someone else, right? So again, it can get a little bit, frustrating when you are younger because you think that that person could just move on to the next one. All right, I feel like I'm rambling now, but I just wanted to get this out to you guys that herpes is hard regardless. We have to remember that. Don't beat yourself up. Don't think like, oh my gosh, now I have this, my life's over. It is not. And if you're feeling alone, that's not at all what I want you to feel. That's why I created the secret societies, because I felt alone back in 2011 when I was diagnosed. I was 28 years old and I was like, there's no one out here that gets me. Well, there are millions of people living with herpes, and that's why I created this community, so that we could talk, we could have videos, have conversations like this, and get to the bottom, hold your hand, give you a virtual hug, communicate with you. So if that's something you're interested in joining as our community, it's called the Secret Society. I do have it linked for you. It is a monthly subscription. And like I said, there's people from all over the world and it's such a great community. All right, I'll see you soon in the next video. Let me know what other things you want to hear and I will create those videos for you. All right, see you soon. Oh, and let me know about the dress too. Okay, bye.